Peace and blessings, Israel. First and foremost, I want to take this time and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, for allowing his word to come out. And I hope you sincere brothers and sisters is edified by this word. And the name of the lesson is called Shepherds Are No Longer Feeding the Sheep. It's clowns entertaining the goats. All right, let me say it again, man. Shepherds are no longer feeding the sheep. It's clowns entertaining the goats, man. In this word, man, we're going to deal with a lot of tomfoolery, a lot of buffooning and cooning, a lot of playing games, a lot of joking around that's going on when it comes to living by the gospel. It's become entertainment. You know, the gospel is no longer the means of trying to walk in the right path that the Lord calls for us to do. Now it has turned into entertainment, man. And part of that entertainment is it's no longer the shepherds, you dig, feeding the sheep. It's clowns entertaining the goats. All right, now, before we get into this word, let's establish the shepherds. Let's establish who the sheep are. Let's establish who the clowns are. And let's establish who the goats are. The shepherds would be a pastor, a minister of a church, or a teacher of virtue that gives instructions regarding things of spiritual. We know the ultimate bosses of shepherds would be Yahweh through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. But we're going to talk about the pastors, the ministers, the teachers of the word. So they're going to be the shepherds that we're speaking about today. And they are no longer feeding the sheep. The sheep simply would be the followers, those that have a good, pure innocence. Okay, they don't know any better. So they're relying on the shepherds, okay, to give them the proper game, to give them the proper understandings pertaining to how they must live spiritually, how they must conduct themselves. And the shepherds are no longer doing that today. They're no longer feeding the sheep. Okay, the sheep is starving. The sheep is starving to the point where they just scrambling, they getting up out of there, man. Because it ain't no food. They ain't being fed. So they fending for themselves is what you have today. You have people, you have the sheep that have no follower. So now they're following themselves. And we're going to talk more into the detriment of that as we go into this word. Then you have the clowns. The clowns that we're talking about is going to be the spiritual goofies. Okay, the comic entertainers that would be in the circus. Well, the circus we're going to speak about today is the church. That's the spiritual goofies, the comic entertainers in the circus is going to be the clowns we're talking about. And we're talking about the clowns that's in the church. The same individual you see on the screen that entertain those in a circus, these are the same individuals, okay, the spiritual goofies, aka clowns, okay, that entertain, that's a comic entertainer in the church. And you have individuals like these you see on the screen. They showing up to church, okay, looking just like this. Spiritually, they looking just like this. And they in there entertaining the church as if they at the circus. And who are they entertaining? The goats. Okay, the goats would be the leaders of the people, man. You see, which would be, again, your pastor, your minister, and whatnot. You see, right now, man, church is fun and games. People not taking the word serious. It's a lot. It's just a lot of tomfoolery going on. People, lie, shucking and jiving. I mean, we in dangerous times, and people not taking this word to be serious, man. Me and my bro, every weekend, when we bring you the word, man, we bringing you some real live medicine that you can use. We use our own lives as examples to show you that us being spiritual men, we are always under attack. Our faith is constantly being tested, and we're constantly dodging the potholes of Satan. We're constantly dodging the debacles of what the enemy is putting in front of us, man. And this is not a time to be shucking and jiving, man. This is a time to put your spiritual binoculars on, man, and zoom in and focus on what you need to do to survive, man, today. And like I said, the shepherds are no longer feeding the sheep. You have clowns entertaining the goats. You see, and Luke chapter 6, verse 39 and 40 speaks right into this, man. In Luke 6, verse 39, it says, "And he spake a parable unto them." This is Yahushua. And the question that he posed, he says, "Can the blind lead the blind?" That's a cold-blooded question right there, man. Can the blind lead the blind? Of course not. It says, "Shall they not both fall into the ditch?" And right now, that's exactly what you got going on in the church, man. The blind leading the blind. The shepherds are blind, okay? The goats are blind. So what you have the spiritual goofies, aka clowns, that are leading the goats. In essence, it's the blind leading the blind. So there's no proper direction. And because of that, guess what's going to happen? The scripture says, "Shall they not both fall in the ditch?" So they both headed for destruction. You see? But like I say, most people don't even see this. It's the blind leading the blind, man. The clowns is entertaining the goats, man. And everybody having a good old buddy old laugh, not understanding the detriment, the spiritual detriment of what that's doing, man. Unreal, man. Unreal. In Luke 6, verse 40, it says, "The disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master." So the disciple in this case would be the clown, the sheep, the clown. Okay, the clown is not above the goat, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. So every clown that emulates himself the way his master has laid down the foundation is going to be just as perfect. But we don't have that today. Why? Because the disciple has surpassed the master. The clown has surpassed the goat. The sheep has surpassed the shepherd. That's a problem, man. That's a problem. That's a major problem, man. The leader has become a follower, and the follower has become the leader. That's self-explanatory. You know how that's going to end. You already know what the recipe for disaster for that is, man. What's the name of the lesson, man? Shepherds are no longer feeding the sheep. It's clowns entertaining the goats. Okay? And like I told you in the beginning of this word, I'm gonna give you some examples, some clear examples of who the clowns really are that's entertaining the goats, man. You see? We're gonna go to let me pull this Hebrews 5 and 12. Very, 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 very important scripture, man. Because this speaks right into why the shepherds are no longer feeding the sheep. And this speaks why the clowns are entertaining the goats, man. It speaks right into it, you see. In Hebrews 5 and 12, it says, "For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the sayings of Yahweh, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat." So what you have going on in Hebrews 5 and 12, it deals with spiritual maturity. When you are a shepherd, when you are a goat, when you are a teacher, when you are a leader, you are to demonstrate spiritual maturity. And what has happened? The leaders, the shepherds, the goats have become spiritually immature. You see, they have become goofy. They have become silly. Okay? So what you have, it says, "For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye need that one teach you again." See, you need to be taught again, man, the basics. Because right now, you are being entertained by a spiritual goofy. When you are the one that's supposed to be teaching him, he is now teaching you. As a leader of a church, as a teacher of the word, you have your integrity. All of that lines up, man. You can't be out here acting stupid. You the forefront of this thing. So many of these pastors, so many of these teachers of the word is immature. It's ridiculous, man. You need to be taught again, man, because what you have, babies are now teaching the parents. Instead of the parents teaching the babies are now teaching the parents, man. Utterly ridiculous, man. Again, man, what's the name of the word? Shepherds are no longer feeding the sheep. It's clowns entertaining the goats, man. Now, like I told you in the beginning of the word, and as we get ready to close out the word, I'm going to give you some examples of the clowns that are entertaining the goats today. The clowns, those you see on the screen, these are them. Goes as follows. You rappers are just like dude on the screen. You comedians is just like dude you see on the screen. You gangsters, you hardcore gangsters, you are just like dude you see on the screen. You adulterers, you are just like this dude you see on the screen. You pimps, you are just like dude you see on the screen. You 2/3 Israelites that's out there with reckless abandonment, being disobedient to Yahweh through his only begotten son, Yahushua. You are just like dude you see on the screen. You professional athletes, you crooked politicians, you are the clowns that are entertaining the goats, the leader of the people, the teachers of the word. You are the clowns that's entertaining them, man. So what am I saying, man? That's how you know the teachers of the word, the shepherds, are immature, because they are being entertained by clowns. Now, when you come to you rappers, you stank ass rappers, man, excuse my French. If you notice, you got the Yo Gottis of the world, the Boosies of the world. If you are able to listen to this madness that they come out of their mouth, a lot of them, to symbolize they telling the truth, what they say, on God. What? You don't even know God. You don't even know who God is. But you hear them say on God. See, that's clown shit. Excuse my French. Then you got these pimps. They got a saying, church, preach, tabernacle. You see that? You see that? So you got all these clowns trying to appear to be godly. You got comedians all of a sudden want to be godly. You know, you 2/3 heathens all of a sudden now you want to preach the word. You athletes all of a sudden, the Carmelo Anthonys of the world, the Amari Stoudemires of the world, all of a sudden now you a Hebrew Israelite. You know about the 12 tribes of Israel now. Now you want to get out here and say a script or two? Clowns, man. You crooked politicians. All of yous are the clowns that are entertaining the goats, man. Yeah, man, it's cold-blooded, man. What's the name of the word, man? Shepherds are no longer feeding the sheep. It's clowns Entertaining the ghost, man. Shalom.